Hi, I'm Blair Gilbert, aka Mr. Hardware from MrHardware.com, here to talk about trying to set a beam. We have this laminated beam that we're putting in here that has actually been put in here, and we are in the process of jacking it up and establishing where it will be. So what we want to do is we want to take and set a line from the front of the house to the back of the house. And we're going to use this line reference how this beam is set up. So in sitting in this line, we need to shim the line up off the floor. So we shim it up off the floor 2x4 because they're readily available. And the real secret to doing this properly is we are going to stretch this line so it is super tight. Wrap around this nail a whole bazillion times. This line here at our block is 1.5 inches off the ground. And as we come to the beam, we start to drop down to 1.25 inches off the ground. We stay at 1.25 inches until we get to where our load really is. Here's the beam. And there we are, still holding our own 1.25 inches, 1 5/16. As we start down here, we're 1.5 inches off the floor, just like our block says we should be. And then we're going to measure from the beam to the string. Is 90 1/2 inches. We come down here, where all of our load is, 90 5/8 of an inch, referencing off our string. So we're 1/8 of an inch higher on this end than that end. And what we did is, we used this string, the straight line string, went into this house to establish a base line. We don't care if it's level or not, it's straight. So when we take this beam and we measure from the beam to the line, we are going to keep the beam parallel to the line so we know that it is straight. We're back to showing how to use strings to straighten building. What we have done here is we have taken a string. We're trying to straighten from one side of this house to the other. So we want to straighten it. We're not necessarily going to level this house because we're not going to lift one side or the other. We just want to keep it straight. So we put a string in 13 inches from the floor on this end. Then we went all the way across the house and we put the string 13 inches down on that side of the house. So this allows us to take a measure from the string to the floor joist. We see that we're right at 13 inches. The beauty of this string is it's not in our way, yet we can continue to work on this site and check, and we know that we're keeping our house relatively close to right on the line, and we are using $3 worth of nylon string to do this job, as opposed to using a laser level, and we can leave them up and reference them the whole time. One thing to remember when you run a string, never let the string rest against the surface you're straightening. You always must shim the string down so that it's away from the surface.